That was a good intro. I'm Phil, founder of PumpUp, or co-founder of PumpUp. We're a positive and supportive community to share and achieve your health goals. We have 3 million members across 152 countries. We're based in downtown Toronto, started in Waterloo, venture-backed startup out of the Valley, but Canadian, born and raised, and we built our company here for a variety of reasons I won't get into for the sake of time. I'm going to talk a little bit about social media and how we've used that to grow our business and our user base. So I'm tight for time, so I'm going to go a little bit quick, but the 4 key things I'm going to go through are on the screen. So to dive right in, this is the fundamentals of building a social media strategy. You need to understand who. You need to understand how they think, how they behave, what they like, what they don't like. When it comes to the category you're marketing in, even more specifically. So for us, it's health, fitness, and wellness. We know exactly who our demographic is, and it really has enabled us to market really well. And then where. So there's a ton of social media channels, and a new one that seems to pop up every day. We run one. You have to understand where to market and where they hang out. You know, the 35-year-old mother who just had a kid and the 15-year-old teenager in high school are not on the same channels, and that's really important to identify. And then when? Are they hanging out on certain channels at different times? Is there a better time to hit them? What we found is, you know, at 6 o'clock, right when kids get out of school, so our demographic, or from an age perspective being about 18 to 25, that's the best time to hit them. They're out of school, they're on their phones, et cetera, and we hit them on the channels they hang out on, Snapchat, Instagram, being our 2 primary ones. Developing a content strategy. So you need to define your voice. So once you understand who you're marketing to, you can build a voice that really appeals to them. You need to be relevant. So for example, not just relevant with the content you share, but timely. So ESPN launched the body issue a few weeks ago, and this girl went viral who was a hammer thrower because she had not a typical body like you would see in a magazine with models. So we reached out to her. She was like super positive, all about body positivity, which is really what our brand is all about. Got an interview with her somehow, posted that blog on our blog, blasted across our social channels. It was one of our most read blog posts, and really interesting content that pops up when you search for articles about her now. So really good ways to bring relevancy to life. Consistency from an imagery perspective, a voice perspective, etc. And then interacting and engaging. So social media is one-to-many, but you can really bring to life one-on-one in a really, really interesting and compelling way. If someone posts about you and tags you, favorite the post or like their post on Instagram or whatever it is, and show that you guys care and you're not just blasting stuff out, but you're there to talk to them. These are just a few of the channels, and instead of focusing on all of them, choose 2 or 3 that you're gonna be the best at in your category, and once you own those channels, start expanding to other ones. And also understand every channel is very, very, very different, and the different types of content you need to bring to life on those channels. And optimize your presence. I think it's the most important thing. So wherever you see PumpUp on social media, it's gonna say, achieve and celebrate your health goals with the world's most positive community. You'll see it on every channel we play on. Same with our cover photos and our profile pictures, et cetera, et cetera. Consistency is key. Driving and tracking is the most important part of all of this. If you can't calculate an ROI on your social media initiatives and spend, you probably shouldn't be doing it. So with we have a link in our bio. Every link is the same, but since it's bit.ly, I know where you clicked from. We see thousands of clicks on our social media channels on a daily basis. We have over 300,000 followers across the channels that we play on. And those go right to the App Store. So that's driving like tangible ROI for my business when my primary metric is growth and new users. There's a lot of cool tools out there where I can answer those questions after. That's just us on Twitter. So here's a quick example of how we bring a piece of content to life across a variety of channels in a consistent way, unified with the kind of brand messaging that we have. So this was, every week we do a story on one of our users. This girl was Anne, talking about how the PumpUp community had a really big impact on her life. We wrote a blog post interviewing her about that. Then we posted that on Instagram and posted our favorite quote from it, and then said, hey, follow us on Snapchat. She's taking over our Snapchat, and see how Anne lives a healthy and active lifestyle on our Snapchat on a daily basis. So we had that call to action, and on Snapchat, she took it over and shared like tons of snaps about how she lives a healthy and active lifestyle every single day. And on Snapchat, we just got on there a month ago because that's where our users were hanging out. And now every snap story we put up, we see over 5,000 views on every single photo, and that's like in 4 weeks. We do have a big user base, so we have like an ever-ending group of people that we can have take it over. But an example of how we kind of unified, or not unified, but like made a special strategy just for Snapchat because it's so different than everything else. We posted on Twitter. Twitter cards bring the same photo to life. You'll see that consistency across everything. We chose a quote that fit the constraints that Twitter provides. Same concept on Facebook. And yeah, so any key takeaways here are know your audience. I think if you don't know your audience, like you're failing from the start. Have a unified voice and make sure that voice is unified across all the channels, but is optimized for each channel. So how we'll speak on Snapchat versus Twitter versus Instagram are totally different, yet have a similar feel to it. Focus on the right channels for your business, where your users are hanging out or your potential customers are hanging out. Don't just try and be on Snapchat because it's new. You know, Snapchat appeals to young people. My demographic is young people. It makes sense to play on that channel. Create cross-channel content. I just give a good example of that, so I didn't need to go into it. And optimize your presence. If you can't track your ROI on social media, don't do it. I know it drives thousands of people to the App Store on a daily basis, and I know those clicks turn into users. And my primary goal is growth, so social media makes sense to invest in. If I couldn't track that, it would be not logical to invest time, resources, energy, etc. behind social. I'd put it behind something else. Happy to answer questions after. Download our app, follow us on Twitter. I didn't hear the buzz.
Perfect.